Hey everyone, it is Monday. That means it is time for my weekly draft video. We're doing some Eldritch Moon. It's actually my first time recording Eldritch Moon. Last week was the first Eldritch Moon draft video, but the Lodfelt brothers stepped in and recorded for me, so they did their own video, and this is my first video of Eldritch Moon. And the winner of the drawing was Zacarega, Z-A-C-A-R-E-G-A, and they will be winning all the cards that I draft and win in this draft, so including the boosters is what I mean by cards that I win. All right, so this first pack is pretty meh. It's interesting they moved where the land goes to right there. I'm not sure why they did that, but that's not a very good rare. That you don't really want to be opening that. I like Curious Homunculus for the spells deck. Borrowed Benevolence is fine. Make Mischief is fine. Into the Horde Swarm, Faith Bearer. I mean, these are all playable cards, but I think Drag Under is probably our pick. It's not the most exciting first pick, but it is a solid card that you're happy to take. Borrowed Malevolence is probably the only other card that I'm sort of considering here. It can kill a decent number of creatures in this format, and the Escalate can be fun. And the Homunculus, in terms of just like power level, if you hit all the synergy, is probably the best. But we'll take Drag Under first. Okay, so Assembled Alphas is just like a good 6-drop that your opponent just can't do a whole lot about, so it's definitely worth looking at it. Brazen Wolves is a pretty good common, just a nice little beater for its cost. But it's probably either Conduit of Storms or Assembled Alphas here. We don't want to take Convolute just to stay on color. Lashweed Lurker's pretty sweet, but I don't want to lock myself in. Although by taking these, I'm sort of locking myself in to something, but I'm only, I only have to play one color to get these in. Like, there's no guarantee I play blue for the Lurker. So Conduit of Storms is pretty good, and so is Assembled Alphas. Oh, there's a Prey Upon here too. What am I talking about? Yeah, I think it's Prey Upon now that I noticed that. Although I like the Alphas and the Conduit, I think I'm going to take Prey Upon. So it means we've taken 2 removal spells in our first couple picks. I mean, Drag Under is not real removal. It's worth noting, but it's solid. I do like Advanced Stitchwing. All of these werewolves are pretty solid, and having Prey Upon does make me want to take some werewolves. I think this card's solid. I think Desperate Sentry, Cultist, fine. But it's either the Stitchwing or the werewolf here for me. Which would I like more? I think I want the Stitchwing more than I want the werewolf. Yeah, I think it's just better. I mean, it's not, it's a solid body for its size, but the fact that it never stays dead is nice. It can also help us with Madness and Delirium, so those are all things that I think are useful. So we may be blue-green. Maybe we should have taken that Lashweed Lurker. Ooh, Nebelgast Herald. I like that. Is there something better than that in this pack? I kind of doubt it. Nope. Yeah, I like Nebelgast Herald a lot. Gives us a flying beater who can tap things down and make my other spirits tap things down should we pick up some more. Bloodbrier's fine. Brazen Wolves is probably the next best card after the Herald, though, in this pack, I think. So Herald it is. So, I mean, we may not even end up in green. Blue seems pretty open. I mean, a 4th pick Herald's pretty good. I think the Herald is sometimes at least first pickable. Okay, I like Wolfkin Bond. All right. There is an Alchemist's Greeting, though, which is a pretty good sign, I think, that red is open. So we could be red-blue. I don't mind the Outcast. The green cards here aren't good enough to make me be like, man, green's open. But this red card, I think, is good enough. We do have a way of hitting Madness, although it's not as good when you have to pay. You're still paying 5, but I guess you're getting some value in getting the Stitchwing and burning something. But I think I take the Greeting here. Shreds of Sanity is also a solid card if we ended up in blue-red. But yeah, so I'll take the Greeting. I mean, I could take Laboratory Brute and just stay blue-green, but I think we're just going to see what happens. Okay, well, there's a Brazen Wolves. There's also a second Prey Upon. The thing is, though, and there's also a Woodland Patrol. There's not, fighting isn't quite as good as, the effects that don't make your creature fight, obviously. And it's good, but I don't know. I don't know if it's as good as I was thinking it was earlier in this draft, I guess is what I'm saying. The wolves, on the other hand, are nice little beaters. I mean, if we're a Spells Matter deck, I guess it's not amazing, but it's fine. Prey upon. Yeah, I'm going to take the wolves. See if we can go blue-red here. Right, Vexing Scuttler, huh? That's pretty good if we end up in the blue-red deck. That is pretty good. And then blue does have several creatures who like to get eaten by creatures like this guy, for example. So I think I will take the Scuttler here. Dragoon is pretty solid to be here this late. It's worth noting, but Scuttler it is. Okay, so I can start picking up take inventories and try to get to the number that I need. Right now I don't actually have any spells payoffs, which is a little weird other than this. So hopefully I pick some of those up. If I don't, we may have to pivot somehow or another. But for now, I think I take inventory over a Laboratory Brute. Markov Crusader, I guess black's pretty open. The last two packs have really shown me that, but I think I like where I am enough to take inventory here. Ooh, what a surprise that made it back. Make Mischief is fine. I don't, love it or anything, but it's fine. Terrarion is nice fixing. Do I just take a 2-drop here over a second Make Mischief? That might be the answer, since I don't have the spells payoffs to really make me want to be to really make me want to prioritize them. But it's likely that I pick them up, I feel like. But I could use some 2-drops, obviously, the way my pile's looking here. Okay, don't like this Temper of Blood at all. I guess I'm going to take a Bloodbriar. If we end up going green, it's not the worst thing. And I'll take a Staff here. I don't really like either of those cards at all, so someone else can have them. This is at least sort of kind of playable in some world. Okay, well, there's a decent payoff for blue-red, and it being there tells me that there's probably not another person in blue-red, so maybe they just, the Thermo Alchemists just haven't been here, because this thing is pretty good. It's like 3 mana, draw 2 cards a lot of the time if you can get your deck the way you want to. Right now, I guess we have like all sorceries right now, don't we? Yeah, so we're not quite where we want it to be. We need, you need a handful of each to really make Shreds of Sanity good. We could get there, Elder Deep Fiend, hello. I think that's probably too good for us to pass, even though there's also a Weaver of Lightning and a Thermo Alchemist, which kind of hurts my heart. I mean, Elder Deep Fiend's just really good. Just really good. It can just do so much so well. It has Flash, so it can eat a creature. It can tap down your opponent's creatures as well, the ones they didn't attack with, so you can just swing for lethal. It just ends up... I mean, these 2 cards are great, especially if we end up in the Spells deck. But I think the sheer power of Elder Deep Fiend beats out the synergy that these would give me, sadly. Synergy seems more fun, but I'm going to take Elder Deep Fiend here. Okay, good. Here's a Thermo Alchemist. Mausoleum Wanderer, too. I think that's worth some money, which is relevant, especially because I'm drafting cards for someone else. Mausoleum, it's worth about 2 tickets. I don't know if that's enough for me to deviate from taking a Thermo Alchemist here. Lupine Prototype is a pretty cool card, but I don't want to be dealing with that. I like Tattered Haunter too, but we're definitely taking Thermo Alchemist here. There was a take inventory earlier. Maybe it'll come back to us. I'd be down with it. Ooh, Geist of the Archives. I think that's probably the answer. This Observer's pretty solid for someone in green, as is Shrill Howler. Maybe we should have stayed green, huh? But Geist of the Archives is really good, so we're going to take it. I mean, it blocks, it scries. What more do you want? Spontaneous Mutation's not bad either, but I'm going to take the Geist here. Okay. Here's another Spontaneous Mutation. It's probably what I take now. Chilling Grasp is fine. I could see taking it, I guess. Especially because this is an instant or sorcery, which are things I'm looking for. It's one of these 2. Mind's Dilation's a cool card, but not for limited. Don't draft it. Yeah. So, the one thing, I do need to get a lot of creatures for these 2 to be at their best. Yeah. I think I'll take the Grasp. Another drag under. Laboratory Maniac and Ingenious Scob. Why are these all in the same pack? Why can't they spread themselves out a little bit? I don't know why they had to do this to me. Okay, so, I mean, Ingenious Scab and Drag Under are obviously the two better ones, and I think the Scob is probably better. We need more payoffs for our spells. And, I mean, we do also have two creatures with Emerge, which this is really good with. But, man, the Scob is good. It just creates so many problems for opponents that, yeah, I'm going to take it. It's hard to do. Those are all three cards I would like in my deck, so hurts my soul. Now this doesn't, though. So we're going to take another Thermo Alchemist. Otherworldly Outburst is an instant, so that's relevant, and it's not a bad one. I think I feel okay about taking it. Let's pick up some Pyre Hounds in our last pack, though, to really get there. Wouldn't mind that Weaver of Lightning coming back, but that seems unlikely. Take Inventory doesn't seem impossible, so yeah. We do need more instants if we want to play Shreds of Sanity, and at this point we have one, so that is not enough. We only have one way to activate Madness on Alchemist Greeting, too. So, is Elder Deep Fiend worth anything? Ooh, it is. Good for the person whose name I can't recall. Here it is. Zacharega. That's a 6-ticket card. I didn't even know. Nice. So, even if I go 0-3 here, they get some value. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's what we're taking. I said early in the draft, I saw one of these and was like, yeah, I'd be all over that if I thought it was going to be in spells, and here we are. So I'm happy to take him. Won't be hard to get him flipped, and once he is flipped, he's voracious. That's for sure. So, I mean, I think our deck looks solid right now. The one thing we don't have is like great targets for this, although Advanced Stitchwing's not the worst, since it can come back and all that. Okay, Take Inventory did come back. There's also an Innkeeper who I think is better than people think it is, but I don't know if it's good enough to take over a second Take Inventory when you have two Thermo Alchemists, a Take Inventory, not Take Inventory, another Take Inventory, a Curious Homunculus. Yeah, I think we want the spell synergies more, and we don't want Contingency Plan, I can tell you that. So we'll take a second Take Inventory here. Okay, Tattered Haunter or another Outburst. I think I go for the Haunter, just like more flying damage seems good. The Outburst does obviously have synergy with our Alchemists, which it's worth talking about, I guess, and thinking about. But, we need more creatures to really take advantage of Otherworldly Outburst anyway. So, to make the one we have good, I think taking the solid 2-drop is a good plan. And we can get another Otherworldly Outburst right here if we want to, and I think we go for it. I think we do. Reaver, another one of those wouldn't hurt, but, when we want spells, I guess we should be taking spells, Okay, well, I hate all three of these cards. Distemper of the Blood is a card that I thought was an instant, and I realized it wasn't. Was really disappointed. I'm going to take the Impaler, sadly. It's, not the worst thing to side in, I guess, against X. People have a lot of X1s, But I harp on, every time they print one of these, it's on when I do my limited review, it's, on my list of cards not to draft. Wow, these are both really reasonable cards that shouldn't be there this late. I just hate cards that, a 1-mana 1/2, great, but to trade up, the idea is people get excited about is it can trade for a 2-power creature or whatever, but you have to pay, that's a total of a 4-mana investment, so you may as well be paying 4 for 1/2. But anyway, Fiery Temper is probably the pick here. I do like Rush of Adrenaline. Someone's going to be happy with Bound by Moonsilver. Also like Press for Answers. That's about it for us. There's the Angelic Purge obviously is solid. Solitary Hunter is good as well. So we're going to take the Temper, though, for sure. That is an instant, too, which is important for us. Okay, Rattle Chains, Aberrant Researcher, Catalog. This is interesting. We have other spirits, don't we? Yeah, you're a spirit, you're a spirit, you're a spirit. Is Rattle Chains worth anything these days? Like I said, I've been out of Magic for, yeah, it's worth 88 cents, not enough. Kind of been out of Magic for the last 6 or 7 weeks while I've been traveling, so I haven't been, not aware of the cards that are people playing in Tier 1 like right this moment. Not all of them anyway. So the Researcher obviously synergizes well in our deck with 10 instants or sorceries already. But Rattlechains is just a good, efficient beater who also has synergy with some of my other creatures. So, I mean, I think that's the choice here, is between these two. Rattlechains, Aberrant Researcher. I think I'm going to go with Rattlechains. That was my choice. Sure. Valdaran Duelist, I guess. He's obviously at his best in a deck with fewer spells shoved into it. But it seems solid. I don't like Trail of Evidence. It just seems too slow. Choked Estuary isn't worth something, is it? Or is it? Not really. No. Okay. So, I think we just take the Duelist. I mean, he's fine. He's our only 4-drop, weirdly. How about that? More creatures to be eaten by those doesn't hurt. Ooh, things are really, really not looking great for us all of a sudden. Though, I like the look of our deck even after the packs we were in because it was so empty early. But now, I mean, there's like, wow, Dead Weight, Puncturing Light, stuff that's solid for other people, but nothing for us. I mean, Lamplighter of Selhoff. No, thank you. I kind of feel like I may as well hate draft here because I'm not going to be playing a Lamplighter. I mean, I guess it works okay with these two guys. I do have one other zombie, but I don't think that's enough to like be consistently hitting the madness on it or something like that. I'm going to take Dead Weight away from somebody. That's right. They don't need efficient removal. Ooh. I like that. Yeah, okay. Burn from Within it is. More spells. More spells is good. I wish there were some Pyre Hounds floating around, though. So we do need to do some trimming already, and probably going to have to do a little more. Shreds of Sanity. I'll have to look at whether I hit enough instants now. I kind of feel like I have not yet. I still don't have the number of instants I would ideally want. Yeah, I guess it's the Youths. We still only have one way of doing Madness, so I don't love them, but I think they're better than Hulking Devil and Ulrich's Kindred. I guess the Kindred's like more efficient and works better with like Otherworldly Outburst, I guess. Yeah, maybe that's relevant. We're never going to be paying, the wolf part's never going to matter, but yeah, if I had more ways to Madness, I think I would go for the Youths, but I don't. Well, here's some Madness, and as well as a decent blue creature. How much Madness? We have Alchemist Greeting, and we have Fiery Temper. It can also just help us cycle through our deck after doing a little bit of damage early. I mean, I could just take... I don't want Deny Existence or Dissension in the Ranks, despite the fact that they're both spells, sadly. So I think it's either Neonate or Homunculus, I guess, or Wicker Witch, but we don't need Delirium, so it's a lot less good. I think I'm going to go for the Neonate. Okay, yeah, we've just dried up on spell synergies, but, there's decent cards here. I'm going to take Convicted Killer. There is some trimming to be done, for sure. It's always harder to trim in the early goings of a format because it's hard. You don't yet know really well what you think is super playable and what's, I think most of the cards I have in my pile here are playable, but the question is which ones are more playable, and it's hard to know that without drafting the format several more times. So, like right now, I think I would be inclined to say goodbye to Make Mischief. What else? I don't know. Well, Press for Answers. That is a spell, and it's one that I like, so I'll take it. Maybe Otherworldly Outburst won't be amazing in our deck. These two guys I have some questions about, but I think they're powerful enough that I want them in my deck. Yeah, I'll take this for the sideboard. I kind of doubt I'll ever side it in, but hey. So we got kind of a sky, lots of flyers, decent number of flyers anyway. So that's nice. So I need to definitely need to do some trimming. 5 cards right now is what we need to cut. So that's a lot. I guess Chilling. Oh, that has Madness too, huh? Yeah, Ember Eye Wolf. I guess I'll take you, but I think you're worse than all my other 2 drops, so I'll put you over here. Yeah, definitely worse than my other 2 drops. Yeah, it's sad we didn't get even a Niblis of Dusk or anything like that. And this, definitely in the second pack, we were taking all the good blue-red stuff, and now we're not seeing any of it, which has definitely made our deck less synergistic, but that's okay. Okay. So, oh, that is strange. Oh, that's just different, I guess, from the last time I drafted, that they give you your cards right away. Okay. Not that strange, just different. All right, so group creatures separately. Do we want to lose any spells? Oh, yeah, Shreds of Sanity I think is probably gone. We have 1 instant, 3 instants, and I think one of these is probably gone at least. So, yeah, Shreds of Sanity doesn't make it. We just don't have enough instants to make it worth it. We just have, all sorceries, basically. So that deals with some of that. That does drop us to 8 spells, though, which I don't know if that's where I want to be, but that's probably okay. I mean, Thermo Alchemist still will do a lot of work, but it may be worth looking at bringing spells in place of some of our creatures. So 2 drops. Like most of them, I guess Falconwrath Reaver's probably the worst 2-drop among them. So I could probably cut that. And then 3 drops, I can just cut the worst of those as well, which is probably just Ulrich's Kindred or a Convicted Killer, but probably the Kindred. Trample's nice, I guess, but okay. So that leaves us with this deck. We are kind of all over the place a little because we want to have some creatures for our Emerge monsters to do things with. But we also want to have spells because we have 2 Thermo Alchemists, Curious Homunculus, etc. So, yeah, but the question is, what spells do I have that I could bring in? I have Make Mischief and Otherworldly Outburst, which I think are both pretty solid, very, they're playable cards. But the question is, what creatures do I cut for them? I mean, I don't really want to cut... I mean, maybe Voldaren Duelist isn't great in this deck, but I think it's not bad. I mean, we have plenty of 2 and 3 drops, although these guys can't attack anyway, but... it can be pretty game-breaking, even in a deck with only 15 creatures in it. So I think we probably just leave things like this. We have 2 ways of doing Madness now, which is nice for Fiery Temper. Yeah, we cut the... Chilling Grasp also is worth looking at, actually. And indeed, it may need to come in... these, I think it's the best of these 3 cards. So I could probably get away with cutting another Otherworldly Outburst and putting in Chilling Grasp. I think I like that. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Okay, so basic lands. 9/8. I'm not 100% sure that's right. Sort by color. Probably should have done that first. But these are both basically blue. So, yeah, 9/8's probably good, actually. All right, so this is our deck. Blue-Red Spells. It was one of my favorite archetypes in the last set, and I'm happy to be drafting it here as well. I'll see you guys in the first match.